It was a warm summer night in the quiet town of Cheshire, Connecticut. The kind of place where people rarely locked their doors. But in the early hours of July 23, 2007, that sense of safety was shattered forever. A fire tore through the Petit family home. Neighbors watched in horror as smoke and flames devoured the two-story house. Police officers swarmed the scene, but inside, it was already too late. One man managed to escape, crawling out from the basement, battered and bloodied. His name was Dr. William Petit, and he was the sole survivor of what would later be called one of the most haunting home invasion murders in American history. Dr. William Petit was a well-known endocrinologist in Cheshire. His wife, Jennifer Petit, was a kind-hearted nurse and devoted mother. Their two daughters, 17-year-old Haley and 11-year-old Michaela, were bright, ambitious, and adored by their community. To neighbors and friends, the Petit were the picture of a happy, successful family. Haley was preparing to start college at Dartmouth in the fall. Michaela was an honor roll student, loved by her classmates. Jennifer, caring and warm, was deeply involved in her daughters' lives. Cheshire itself was the kind of town where violent crime felt unthinkable. But that sense of security was an illusion. The men responsible were Stephen Hayes and Joshua Komisarjevsky. Both were career criminals with long histories of burglary and addiction. Hayes, 44, was a drifter who had spent much of his life in and out of prison. Komisarjevsky, 26, had grown up in an adoptive Christian family but spiraled into crime, drug abuse, and darkness. The two met at a halfway house in 2006. By the following summer, they were planning robberies together. Komisarjevsky had spotted Jennifer and Michaela at a grocery store earlier that week. He followed them home, learning where they lived. That chance encounter sealed the Petit family's fate. At around 3 a.m. on July 23, Hayes and Komisarjevsky broke into the Petit home. Dr. Petit, asleep on the living room couch, woke to the sound of footsteps. Before he could react, Komisarjevsky struck him with a baseball bat. Bound and bleeding, William was dragged to the basement and tied to a support beam. Upstairs, Jennifer and the girls were held hostage. For hours, the two men roamed the house, stealing credit cards, searching for valuables, and plotting what to do next. By morning, the intruders forced Jennifer to drive to the local Bank of America. With Hayes at her side, she was ordered to withdraw $15,000 in cash. Inside the bank, Jennifer managed to slip a note to the teller: "My family is being held hostage. Please don't call the police, they are watching me." The teller immediately alerted authorities. Police set up surveillance around the house, but under instructions not to intervene just yet. Their plan was to wait, to avoid triggering violence inside. But the clock was ticking. Back at the house, the situation spiraled. Hayes and Komisarjevsky had already tied Michaela and Haley to their beds. At some point, Hayes sexually assaulted Jennifer, while Komisarjevsky turned his violence toward Michaela. These were details later revealed in court, details that horrified even seasoned investigators. After the assault, Hayes strangled Jennifer to death. Her body was left on the living room floor. Knowing police were outside, the men panicked. They poured gasoline throughout the home. Michaela and Haley, still alive, still tied to their beds, had no chance to escape. At around 9:30 a.m., Hayes lit the match. Flames erupted. Smoke filled the home as the girls screamed for help. Within minutes, the fire consumed everything. Dr. Petit, somehow, managed to break free of his bindings. Beaten nearly to death, he crawled out of the basement and across the yard to a neighbor's house. He was the only one to survive. As the house burned, Hayes and Komisarjevsky attempted to escape in the Petit family's car. Police quickly intercepted them just a few blocks away. Both were arrested on the spot.
Suspects are in custody. Have the SC get up here ASAP.
That's a roger. They are on their way, and they are notified that the suspects are in custody. They will be looking for the two female parties in the house.
For one of the suspects, there should be two females in the upstairs bedroom, as well as the woman from the vehicle that drove to the bank. She should be in the upstairs bedroom, possibly 36.
Inside the smoldering ruins of the house, the bodies of Jennifer, Haley, and Michaela were discovered. The case sent shockwaves across the nation. The brutality was unlike anything Connecticut had seen in decades.
In a heinous triple murder, sexual assault, arson, and home invasion at the home of a doctor and his family in a sleepy bedroom community in Cheshire, Connecticut.
What a waste, what a tragedy, what grief, what sadness. And he's a man who's affected, these two men, looking probably just for a few dollars, have affected an entire community of people who supported their family.
Prosecutors described the suspects as career criminals. 44-year-old Stephen Hayes lived in a nearby community, while 26-year-old Joshua Komisarjevsky lived in Cheshire, just over a mile from where the home invasion took place. Police say the men broke into the house of Dr. William Petit, his wife Jennifer, and their two daughters, aged 17 and 11, and terrorized the family for hours.
Stephen Hayes went to trial first in 2010. He was convicted of murder, sexual assault, arson, and kidnapping. The jury sentenced him to death. The following year, Joshua Komisarjevsky faced trial. He too was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to death. But in 2012, Connecticut abolished the death penalty. Both men's sentences were commuted to life in prison without parole, where they remain today. Dr. William Petit, though devastated, dedicated his life to honoring his family. He founded the Petit Family Foundation, supporting education, chronic illness research, and victims of violence. In 2012, he remarried and later welcomed a son, a chance at building a new life after unimaginable loss. But for Cheshire, the murders marked a permanent scar. A small town, once known for peace and safety, became synonymous with one of the darkest crimes in American history. The Cheshire murders stand as a reminder of how fragile safety can be. In just a few hours, one family's world was destroyed by two men who brought unimaginable cruelty into a quiet home. Yet from that night of terror emerged a story of survival, resilience, and the strength to keep moving forward, even when everything has been taken away. This is the story of the Petit family.